Hey again, guys. Welcome back. It's good to see you. How you doing? Welcome back to my office. Out having a real nice Friday here in Southern California. So I hope you are too, wherever you're at, wherever you're doing. I know you're just going to be just fine. So if you remember last time, we got into how I MacGyvered my life. Right, just a quick recap. The show back in the 80s, 90s was Guy, government contractor, I think. We get into real unfortunate crisis-laden situations, and it would bring pieces of random eclecticness together to get them out of that said situation. I'm now talking, rubber bands, stick of gum, a nail, an empty gasoline can, a piece of metal, and bam! Suddenly it was all the solutions he needed to get out of the situation that we did, right? And how that related to me, or to us, as we progressed through life and encountered one crisis or bad situation or good situation after the other. Starting that proverbial tool belt in kindergarten, learning numbers, letters, shapes, sizes, color, the whole nine, and then progressing up through college, picking up more skills, more tools, knowledge, etc. along the way. Adding to that tool belt, adding to that resourcefulness, if you will, given a situation, given a scenario, a crisis, or whatever. We each narrowed down our speciality in accordance to what we like doing, and we became very good at that. Doctors became doctors, dentists, opticians, the list goes on, plumbers and so on, teachers, you get the idea. Where they were very good at that situation. You can depend on, generally speaking, a doctor to make you better. You go to a dentist to have healthier teeth, optician to get better vision, so on and so forth. So that when a unfortunate situation like being fired or losing your job comes up, you now have this X number of years, 20, 30, 40, 50 years accumulation of knowledge, skills, tools that you can relay back on to provide and sustain and whatever you need to do in life, right? That's a given. So it's hard to realize those tools when you're going through a situation like that, right? You've just lost your job, you're no longer have the income to provide for mortgage, food, family, or keep the lights on, kids are in college, car loan needs to be paid, so on and so forth. So as I personally went through a few situations like that, where do you go? What's after you've taken some time to take a deep breath and to basically figure out what you're doing next. If the resume isn't bringing in the jobs off of Indeed and LinkedIn and so on, what is it that you do? You might run into a depression state that, what am I good at? I'm not good at anything. I only did this, and I'm only good at X, Excel spreadsheets, whatever, right? PowerPoint presentations, etc. You get the idea. So how do you inner focus, I guess you could say, to examine the tools that you have when you're 20, 30, 40, 50 some odd years old, that you can say, hey, I can do X really, really well, or X, Y, and Z really, really well to provide a sustainable income lifestyle that I need to do. Southern California is not exactly a cheap place to live, so people here need to make money, need to provide, need to have that relatively high income, right? I don't know where you live. Maybe that income level is a little bit lower, but if you hit it, you're still living a pretty decent lifestyle. It's relative to where you live, correct. But again, it's these tools that you have, that you rely on, without the permission, rules, regulations, policies, and procedures of that aforementioned company that you used to work for, right? So we're gonna name this one the Gamer's Advantage. I like it. and I'll tell you why. So I am of the Atari generation, I guess you could say. I grew up not gaming too much, but I played here and there. I remember being 4, 5 years old, and the local kid in the neighborhood got a Nintendo, the first one, and we used to watch him play Zelda and Mario and all these other great games, and just beg to take turns, and we pay money to take turns, and that was a huge thing back then, right? 80 something. And nowadays, if you've taken a look at a Best Buy or a Target Game Center, and it's a whole different level. Of course, it's evolved to this immense interactivity, VR, and everything else. Anyways, in the last few years, and maybe even before that, a category of games in the space of survival has blown up, right? Survive this, survive that, zombies, dinosaurs, aliens, whatever. You start off at with literally your shirt, pants, shoes, and that's it. And you have to go and collect, resources to make X, right? You have to put 2 rocks together. You grab a stick, make a spear. Take that spear, wrap a rock around it. Let me see if I find one. Ah, there we go. Stick. Weirdly axe-shapen rock. How convenient. And then, oh hey, rope. Holy cow, right? How convenient. So rope, rock, stick. What do you do? Ta-da! Right. You use what you have around you, and now we have this axe, shovel, club-looking thing. And for all my Ark Survival Evolved people out there, you'll laugh at this, right? But look, suddenly you've taken completely random, almost items, and you've converted it into a tool that will help chop down another tree, dig a hole, protect you from predators, whatever it happens to be. Yes, I know it's not pretty. Yes, it's pretty flimsy. I get that. In the comments, 100%. I'm not a Navy SEAL or anything like that. That just would pass for anything. But you get the idea. You take what you have around you, right? But it's not just around you, it's in you. And again, you're going through a crisis, you've gone through a loss, you've gone through whatever personal roadblock that you've hit, and it's hard to think of what you're good at. If you're, I don't deserve this, don't deserve that. You deserve everything in life, first off, okay? Don't let anyone tell you different. But take a deep breath, sit down at the kitchen table, 2, 3, 4 in the morning like I did. What are you good at? Ask friends what you're good at. Have a complete stranger ask, tell you what you're good at. Maybe if they are completely unbiased. But you get the idea. You get this list of what you're good at, and suddenly you start building upon that list about what you're really good at, what you might be better at than most people, what you could learn. And that's the other half, I feel, is that the tools that we have throughout life that we've evolved from, kindergarten to college and so on, is we're building upon that tools. If you don't know how to do X well enough, go learn. Libraries are free, most of them, that I know of. There's tons of books to teach you on how to do whatever you want to do, right? I have known many people, countless people, who got 1 degree in college and now doing completely something else, something that I never figured I did. They would do. I got business degrees in college. I became a banker for about a decade. Never thought I'd be a banker in college, but look what happened, right? So there is an opportunity to do incredible things if your career has kicked you down to the ground, okay? So as a gamer myself, but Gamer Advantage, the title, is figuring out, again, putting those pieces together so you can survive, right, in the game against zombies, dinosaurs, aliens, whatever. Survive against them. Or here in the real world, as sure probably some of you say, hey, games are games, it's not the real world. And I would say, well, life imitates art and art imitates life. Take that however you want to. But you're in the same predicament. You're out of a job, right? Income stopped, bills are still there, mortgage, kids are still there, electric bill's still there. You have to figure out some way to survive on the tools that you have, all right? And gamers figure that out pretty quickly in a game. You know, again, stick, club, rope, boom, tool, right? And then it evolves. You get 2 sticks. You make a spear. You know, yes, it's not going from wood to metal in Ark Survival Evolved or whatever have you, but perceptually, it's the same idea, right? So when you're going through all that, right? You know, as we all have at some point in time, and lost a job, divorce, some sort of crisis or what have you. What is it that you can do? What can you pull together to get you into that next level? As I mentioned in the previous, what's that 2, 3, 4 a.m.? What if, hey, if I did this idea or this service, this product, and just gave yourself that permission to do that, what could I bring to the table to make it happen? Maybe it's leveraging your 401k. You know, I'm not advising any type of financial movement here, but it's something I did. I cashed out my 401k, which will be a future episode title called My Useless 401k and How It Made Me Money. And using that to get you where you are. You know, having some sort of financial leverage to get you where you are. A mentor, someone who was there before, someone retired, someone that you can lean into to say, hey, I got this idea, I have this plan, this vision, this dream, this whatever, but I am not certain how to get it up and off the ground completely. Yes. There you go. A little bit straighter. So what is it? You know, the societies that we live in, regardless of where you're at, it's very hard to not have resources available to you. I'm in the United States of America, California. It's very hard to be broke in this country. Okay, there is examples, but there are insane amount of opportunities that even from a zero budget, whatever, given the right amount of ambition, energy, focus, most of anybody can make some sort of money in some way, shape, or form, right? People who have, again, like I was at one point, lost jobs. You know, they Uber, Lyft, Instacart, delivery, whatever. They've made it happen. Hey, you have a car. Yeah? Go deliver groceries. Go pick up and drop off people. Tools, utilities, you know, do with that. Oh, you don't have a car? All right, well, you have a phone. Yeah. Flip it on like this, turn it around, start producing content. People are making tons of money off of making content and YouTube and everything else. It's a mental shift of no longer being a consumer and being a producer, a content creator, an investor, right? If once you make that investor shift in your mind, and that your money is more there for as a tool and not as a consumption piece, I guess you could say, you are going to start seeing dividends almost right away, right? Whew. Beautiful day. So it is. You ask, again, referring back to the gamer bit, you're asking, you have these multiple situations that you have to lean into what you have, to what you got. You know, it's very hard to be resourceful-less in this country because there's so many programs out there that help you. Libraries are free, so on and so forth. That if anyone has questions as far as that goes, reach out to me. Email aqualuxuryconsulting@gmail.com. Right? Say, oh, hey, I'm in this situation. I'm not sure what I'm good at. I'm not sure what I have. and we can literally write down everything that you have. Last time I checked, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and just about every other successful person you can ever think of, Walt Disney, all had, to my knowledge, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, mouth, like the same thing you and I have. So what makes them different than you and I? What? That people have been less resource laden who have established this country than we do now and have done greater things without cell phones, Wi-Fi, and everything else. Same argument we had that great things have been done with them. I get that. But for the vast majority of this country, in the United States of America, cell phones weren't really around. Smartphones, not so much. So people had to do what they had and do without what they didn't. Right? Cell phones weren't there. Now, how did they get by without cell phones? Figured out a way. Electricity wasn't there for a lot of this country. Right? I think we got through that pretty well. So when you're feeling resourceful-less, useless, priceless in not a good way, unvalued, and so on, because you got let go or whatever other crisis happened. And it's hard to think of all the good things that you have to use, that you are good at, that you can rely on, self-reliance, and so on. You can reach out. Come talk to me. I've been there. I've had to bring myself back up. And it's a tough climb, but it's better with company. And I've made that climb mostly by myself this week. So if you're feeling by yourself and it's just not working out the way you thought, because it's working out a different way. If you're not sure what that is yet, come find me. I'll be happy to help. My name's Andy, and you're going to be just fine.